President, welcome back.
Good morning.
So last time we spoke to you, sir, you were on standby, really, right? Waiting to hear on whether or not migrants would be sent over to Queens. And since then, the JFK site, the Randall Asylum site have opened. Have you visited those facilities, and are you hearing about potential for more?
Yes, well, certainly Creedmoor is coming online, and we're working with the administration. And this is a crisis of great magnitude. We have to ensure that the folks coming in are being treated humanely while also trying to address those community concerns that may pop up around safety, around what are the migrants going to be doing all day, and certainly how are we ensuring out the children, especially coming in, could integrate into our school system in a positive way.
One thing that everyone's concerned about is the price tag on this. And Mayor Adams says this migrant crisis could have to add up to $12 billion. And would lifting the 60-day shelter limit add to that?
Well, let me be clear. We already had 40,000 individuals in New York City in shelter. So you add on 60,000, you now have over 100,000 individuals living in shelters. And we really need Washington, D.C. to step up on sightings of specific places that certainly can be helpful and alleviate some of the pressures that we're seeing in local communities, like Floyd Bennett Field. And certainly we need some money. And I agree with the mayor that Washington, D.C. needs to step up. And we also need a real solution and plan around comprehensive immigration reform. And we have not seen that out of Washington, D.C. Because of the Republicans, quite frankly.
So, well, the president himself, though, has not really declared this a disaster, right? So if the money does come, so the migrants are going to keep on coming as well. They're going to keep coming this way. So the money will eventually run out. So is there a greater issue at hand that you'd like to see?
Listen, we have to get comprehensive immigration reform done in this country. Let me also add that my father just became a United States citizen in 2020, so we will never preach xenophobia. Certainly, we welcome immigrants in our city. Queens is 50% of Queens' population is foreign-born, so we welcome immigrants, but we need the resources as well.
Right.
I think the concern also is that city services are going to be suffering because of this for New Yorkers that are already here.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, this is when you look at the school system, when you look at how we were already stretched in many areas just through the last budget, certainly we have some concerns around that, the fiscal impact.
All right, let's talk about the other big issue right now, sir, and that's facing the Adams administration, and that's Rikers Island. One step closer to a federal receivership and federal takeover, right? So where do you stand on the issue? And do you want to see a federal receiver take over Rikers Island before it closes?
Oh, absolutely. Rikers Island is a hellhole. For any of us who grew up in communities like Southeast Queens, some of the most impacted communities, we hear the stories from family members, from friends, and really there's no way to reform Rikers Island. And we need to ensure that we're moving forward with the plan that the city council passed to do smaller jails, more updated facilities. Jail is supposed to be about rehabilitation.
Yeah.
You go into Rikers Island, you're coming out worse than when you went in.
Switching gears a little bit, we wanted to ask you about a big issue in your community. Street vendors in Queens, they're fighting to keep their livelihood. The sanitation department, they had that massive sweep in Corona Plaza just a few weeks ago. Are those vendors back in business? Have you spoken to the sanitation commissioner about what can be done to help those vendors stay in business?
Well, I'm speaking directly to the mayor. And let me say this, that I believe that the way they're handling Corona Plaza is contradictory to the message we're sending to Washington, D.C. Here we are saying to Washington, D.C., we want worker authorization, but we won't even authorize the immigrants who've been here to work in the plaza, to be self-sustainable. So I think it's hypocrisy at its greatest level. And it's a policy not just from this administration, but going back decades, other administrations who have not lifted the cap on licenses so that these individuals can make a living, be self-sustainable, and vend legally.
I mean, this is, every time we talk, I feel like every couple of years we talk about this street vendor fight that goes on, and we talk about raising the cap. What's the conversation then that you had with the mayor's office? Are they going to move forward with raising it?
Well, right now, we're just trying to stop the bleeding at the plaza currently. So, we just filled Banks out on Friday. I anticipate another deputy mayor will be coming out. And yes, and we need, and there are licenses available. It's just that the health department who issues these licenses
Right.
has moved extremely slowly. And we need to see perhaps some audits. We need to see some changes in these agencies on how they're delving out what they have. And then certainly the city council and the mayor should be looking at ways to expand these licenses. It is not going to get any easier because with,
Yeah.
as about the migrant crisis, where are they going to work? They're going to go and vent. So if we're not increasing these licenses, we're spinning our wheels and we're doing enforcement on individuals who are just trying to make a living.
Yeah, just real quick, we always appreciate your time here, but we're hearing rumors that you might have a new career after we celebrated 50 years of hip hop. You were hobnobbing with some of the greats. I don't know. You're going to take on rapping or something?
Well, I got a few bars. Me and LL.
Okay.
Hanging out in cars. When we were young. I don't know if I got a career, but certainly Queens is where it's at. And
All
while
right.
while the Bronx claims it, we say we perfected it in Queens.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go. Well,
All
yeah. There's always Hollis Queens, All right.
Let's go.
All right. Thanks so much for your time this morning, as always.
Good to see y'all.
right,
Take care.
hey,
Good to see you.
Hollis to Hollywood, baby.